In today's headlines, School of Deaf in Katlehong students embark on protest after dissatisfaction of fund expenditure was raised. Unrest followed by looting at Sementuli Mall and Letsoho shopping centre. An uncontainable fire ravages through a factory in Yao Road. Tina Sonke residents threaten retaliation after years of empty promises in the housing debacle. Electrical issues are an ongoing struggle for Ekurhuleni residents. After questions were raised about funds amounting to 9 million rand that apparently went missing, aimed at improving infrastructure at the institution. Students from the school decided to embark upon a protest after allegations of ill treatment by the principal. The school, that also serves as a residence to some, was reportedly subjecting students to poor living conditions. After speaking to kitchen staff, they further corroborated claims that there was a lack of food at the vicinity.
The feeding scheme is there, but it's not enough. The department and I told the principal that the food they are giving the students is not enough. I have informed the principal that we need more food for all the students. She arrived yesterday and was informed by someone that the students will be protesting today. She instructed us to go buy food. All the food was purchased yesterday. The students' complaints are that they don't have enough food and have repetition of the same meals, and their living conditions are bad. The hygiene standards are just as poor.
We stay here. We are the ones looking after this place. They are not here for the whole night. They don't know what's going on. We are dealing with challenges of feeding these children who hasn't eaten since yesterday. They are standing outside. We say we are here as a community and organizations, but what solutions are we coming with?
Let's find a way forward.
From my point of view, the food is not enough to sustain the students for the whole week. Why does the school not close until they are able to feed and take care of the students?
Go to the classes. Go to your classes. As I'm waiting for the department to come so that they address your concerns. You must go to class so that the department will come and address your concerns.
On the day of the protest, students set off to confront the principal and blockaded the premises with burning tires and rubble. The escalation of violence led to police intervening to protect the school principal. One of the EFF leaders, Kuketso Mojatao, was also at the scene as a representative for the students.
I'm not free to talk or I don't feel safe.
Why?
So I'm getting protection from Amapoisa.
Why?
And at this meeting I have closed
You
don't know what we have seen here. And you can't tell us our media team cannot come here. We need to report where we come from. We've been coming here for 3 years. Who put you to Brisbane? You can't tell us that. Shutting down the school will not be a good idea today. The only solid and sober decision that we can take as parents, as community, also as community activists, I mean like political parties, we must take over the school. The principal must leave and leave us with the keys. Yes. The security guards must leave and they must leave us with the kids.
On Sunday around 10 p.m, looters entered the secure premises at Letsoho shopping centre and Sementuli Mall respectively. Around the same time, ShopRite in Kumalo Street and surrounding shops at that complex were also vandalised and looted. The looting progressed well into the next morning.
I am here representing Midas. We have a store here at Sementuli Katlehong. When the Gauteng shutdown started, we only heard about it, but we didn't think it will affect our shop as much as it did. We had the news that there was a community forum, but we didn't take it as if it was going to affect shops because we thought it was an organized strike. But little did we know that it was also a Gauteng shutdown which affected our shop as well. So it is quite devastating what happened. There's nothing that was left in the store at all. And this meant that we couldn't open the shop. This meant that employees will have to stop coming to work.
Around on Sunday, around 10 in the night, the looters came on this mall, and they was start from the other side. They burn that side also. Then they loot. The economy is township depend on the malls, and they break whole malls. You making down your economy, and this mall was very good, and they was helping people.
Amongst the casualties that succumbed at Semantuli Mall was a miner whose body was found at one of the pedestrian entrances of the mall. It badly affected the community because they were largely dependent on the shopping centre for their basic goods, and many employees lost their jobs. Unrest followed by looting at Semantuli Mall and Litsoho shopping centre. In the early hours of the morning, Emergency Services City of Ekurhuleni, Station 2, received a call that a fire was in progress. On arrival at Air Road, which is a big industrial area located in Alberton, fires had already ravaged through the factory that recycles plastic. The speed of the wind further contributed to the pace of the fire. Fortunately, there was no casualties reported. Response officers in the area were suspicious to what was causing the smoke and decided to alert the police in its initial stages. The fire department was alerted afterwards. On their assessment, the cause of the fire may potentially have been due to compressed plastic. The mammoth of the fire was so big that it took 17 firefighters to get under control. Tina Sonke residents threaten retaliation after years of empty promises in the housing debacle. In Tina Sonke, residents have been promised houses for more than 12 years. Now caught up in a housing debacle, residents have taken it into their own hands to challenge local government to finish what they've started more than a decade ago. Frequent meetings are held regarding this matter, and resolution seems to be far in the horizon as they are given more excuses. We delve deeper into the story.
Good morning, my name is Tahir Sema from the Gauteng Department of Human Settlements. Regarding the Tina Sonke Extension 4 housing project, the department is aware of the delays that has resulted in the community frustration that has been expressed. We are currently in the process of appointing a new contractor to complete the uncompleted houses in Tina Sonke Extension 4. Yes, there were delays in the project. There were two contractors that were appointed that did not perform optimally. As a result, the department had decided to cancel the contracts of those developers in Tina Sonke Extension 4, including the professional resource team, as a result of underperformance. The department is now in the process of finalizing supply chain processes in order to get new, efficient contractors in place, including a professional resource team that can complete the outstanding and incomplete units in Tina Sonke Extension 4. The way forward is that we are asking for community members to bear with us. These delays are quite unfortunate. They should not have happened in the first instance. However, we are prioritizing Tina Sonke Extension 4, and as part of the departmental reprioritization process, funds will be taken from other non-performing housing developments, and it will be utilized to complete the Tina Sonke Extension 4 project in due course.
Most of these people are old and living in horrendous conditions. A scene too familiar here in Tina Sonke is of this old man who also lives with a disability and is challenged with moving around in this small shack. He says that he has been living alone for years without any help from government. He also says that he has been waiting for a house to be allocated to him, but found it very disheartening, as those who found him here has since acquired houses.
Once again, electrical issues have hampered the spirits of Extension 1 residents. This is a regular occurrence for Otandweni residents, as power cuts still ravage this community. Police were tasked to mediate as locals took to the streets once again in avoidance of more tensions following the recent unrest. The dangers of children passing a live electrical wire after the ongoing strikes was a sign of people's annoyance for not having their expectations met, even though the substation was rebuilt with better delivery capacity exactly a year ago. And on a lighter note, an all-boys biker club makes a buzz in the community. An all-boys cycling club has impressed the community with their skills and versatility when it comes to riding their bikes. The boys are all from different neighboring communities, and the club was established to keep the boys out of trouble and focused on team building, looking after something of value, socializing with their peers, and spreading joy in the community. The boys have added their humor to their bicycles by each naming their bikes after something or someone that has influenced them positively. People find it uplifting as the boys go around the neighborhood, pass people with a smile on their bike formations, and greet everyone with a smile. This is John Brown, signing out.